Welcome to Rob Nagy's Rock and Roll Legacy. For more than 4 decades as a freelance music journalist, I had the honor and the privilege of interviewing countless music icons in rock and roll, jazz, R&B, and blues. It was a priceless journey that began in my late teens. I never imagined I would cross paths with many of my music heroes. For this week's episode, I selected a 2019 interview I conducted with guitar legend Albert Lee, which I hope will be a memorable journey for you, the listener, and preserve his legacy for future generations. Known as a guitar player's guitar player, Lee is often called Mr. Telecaster, his guitar of choice. His signature fingerstyle picking technique has solidified his standing as one of the most highly regarded guitarists in music history. Lee continues to enjoy an amazing career as a sideman, session guitarist, music director, and recording artist, performing with some of the biggest names in music history, an impressive list that includes the Everly Brothers, Buddy Holly's Crickets, Eric Clapton, and Emmylou Harris. Following a 5-year run performing with Eric Clapton, Lee was responsible for the Everly Brothers' 1983 reunion concert, serving as their lead guitarist and music director. He would go on to play with the Everly Brothers for more than 20 years. Lee joined Bill Wyman's Rhythm Kings in 2002, performing with the group for over a decade. This same year, he was part of an all-star music roster performing at the Concert for George Harrison at London's Royal Albert Hall. The recipient of multiple honors as Guitar Player magazine's Best Country Guitarist, Lee received a Grammy Award in 2002 for his Best Country Instrumental performance from the CD released Earl Scruggs and Friends. In 2006, he appeared in the History of the Guitar documentary Primal Twang, The Legacy of the Guitar. In 2007, he made his first of a number of appearances at Eric Clapton's Crossroads Guitar Festival, and in 2017 he was given the Trailblazer Lifetime Achievement Award at the UK Americana Awards. You are about to hear an unscripted, never-before-broadcast interview I conducted with Lee in 2019. For your listening pleasure, I give you Albert Lee. How many dates are you doing? I know that you're going to be in Philadelphia in January.
I'm not sure. I think it's at least a month. Yeah.
And what is the tour going to entail? What can people expect when they come out to see you?
More of the same, really.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be no rehearsals for it.
Right.
You know, these are guys I work with whenever I can. You know, because I've got 2 bands. You know, I've got an English band too.
Right.
So I'm over there quite a bit. But no, these guys are great. You know, J.T. Thomas and Will McGregor and Jason Smith. So we're looking forward to getting out again. Right. You know, it's been a little while.
Now, you had a band, I think the last time I saw you, was it Hogan's Heroes? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I quit those guys, must be 4 or 5 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, a couple of the guys we had about 4 or 5 piano players.
Okay.
And the bass player has Parkinson's, so you know we had to replace him with a couple of guys, you know. But I just needed to take a break from it because it was we've been going for about 25 years or more.
Oh my gosh! Wow, I hadn't realized it was that long. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And but you know, I thank those guys for getting me started because I hadn't fronted a band prior to that.
Right.
Know, so it was good working with those guys, you know.
Right.
But, and I was going to take a little break from England, and then someone approached me, you know, and said, "Well, we could do this again. You know, I can handle this and get somebody to handle that." And we got a bunch of young guys who were really enthusiastic and great players.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing it again.
Oh, nice.
You know, for about 3 months of the year, probably.
Right,
you know?
right. Well, that's long enough too. You want to get some relaxation time in too. So.
Well, I mean, that's just one band. You know, it's not counting the US band. You know,
right.
So I don't have much time at home lately. I don't know why it doesn't seem to work out.
Do you have? You don't have any new recordings that you're working on? It's been a little while since you've done anything. Do you have anything coming out, or?
There is one out in England, and it's really a tribute to Buddy Holly.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I can't say that the last couple of things I've done haven't been studio albums. You know, this was done very quickly, more like demo-like, really, you know, with very little overdubs. And, you know, I'm quite pleased with the result, you know, but it's it sells well at the gigs over there, and I'll be selling them here too. I've got a couple of boxes here. And but I think I'm the years are passing quickly, so I think I need to do at least one more studio album. Put some real work into it. So it's just finding the time.
I know, and you're very much in demand because you're such a great player. So I mean, everybody seems to want to play with you. So
thank you. I'm glad that I can still draw a crowd in these clubs.
Right.
I just wish I was playing bigger venues and less of them. But that's the way it is at the moment. We go back to the same places every year, and pretty good audience.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't complain.
Now, the Buddy Holly album, did that come out last year? When did that come out?
I guess earlier this year, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's my own pressings, so that it's not with a label or anything. So just only available through our website or at the gigs.
Right. I don't know why I said last year. This year has gone by so quickly, Albert. I can't believe it's Christmas already. So I apologize. I meant this year. It's just flying by. I can't believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, it came out this year. Early this year.
Okay. And what is on the album? Are they all Buddy Holly songs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cricket related.
Right.
He didn't write all of them, but they're that's the theme of it, really.
Right.
Buddy Holly and the Crickets. Just going to say, he was a big influence upon me, and I was a cricket for a while. I did a couple of years with them and 3 albums. And
wow! Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very close to those guys.
Yeah. I've actually done some work. I've interviewed Jerry and Joe B. when he was alive, and then Sonny Curtis. So
sure.
Yeah. Did you get those guys? Did they appear on the record at all? Did you have them sit in at all on the album?
No. I did it all in London.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure Jerry is Jerry's still alive, and so is Sonny, I think. I know Joe B passed away.
Sonny may have had some health issues, but he's still around. I don't think he wants to go out and play.
Yeah, nice guys.
To get it.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, we had like a cricket reunion at Clear Lake, Iowa, a couple of years ago, and we couldn't get Sonny out to do it, unfortunately. But I've met up with him. We've had dinner, and he's been sprightly as ever.
Yeah. You also have a history, and I don't want to go into this too deeply because you've probably been asked this a million times, but you had a nice history with the Everly Brothers.
Oh, yeah. I first met them in the early 60s, and in the 70s when I was out here, just after they'd broken up, I did some work around town with Don Everly, and we were good buddies there for a while, doing a lot of things together, and had a lot of fun, and then in 83, he and his brother decided to give it another crack. They hadn't spoken in 10 years, really, or anything in 10 years.
Right.
So I was involved right from the beginning, and we did a reunion concert at the Royal Albert Hall, and I thought, well, that's it. I've got to play with the Everly Brothers at least once. But to everyone's surprise, they got a record deal, and they said, well, we're going to tour this summer, you're available, and I said, I guess so.
Yeah.
That actually lasted for over 26 years.
That's amazing. Gosh, that's amazing. I think I saw you, I would have seen you would have been with them then in 1994, 95? Right in there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless it was the tour they did with Simon and Garfunkel, they didn't use the band.
Yeah, I saw you with the Everly Brothers. I think it was at the Valley Forge Music Fair.
Yeah, we did that every year.
Yeah.
It's all those shows on the East Coast. We used to have a lot of fun for 6 weeks or whatever,
Don does he still perform, or is he retired? Because Phil passed away, I know.
Well, yeah, Phil passed away, sadly.
Yeah.
It's been 5-6 years now.
Right.
But no, Don is, he's out and about around town. I don't think he's really singing, but he used to hide himself away, but since his brothers passed away, he seems to be getting out more. I don't know why that would be, but you know, he seems to be fated wherever he goes. You know, and I think he enjoys that. You know.
Boy, what a talented pair of guys. I mean, and to have you in the band, that's just incredible.
Oh yeah, it was a thrill. You know, playing with them all that time, looking back on it.
Now, you shared the stage, Albert, with a ton of people. I mean, you shared it with Eric Clapton, and I mean, just a who's who of rock and roll. I mean, who are some of the people that you, in addition to the Everly Brothers, that you really cherish the opportunity?
I played with Eric for 5 years, and you know, I've done, over the last few years, I've done nearly all of the Crossroads concerts for him, you know, which is always a lot of fun. Bill Wyman for about 15 years around Europe. We did come to the States once, but that was like pulling teeth for him, yeah, because he stopped flying, but he did fly over for that tour, but well, I don't think we'll get him on a plane now.
Yeah. How would you define, I mean, I know how I would define your work, Albert, but how would you define what you do musically as an artist? Are you a blues player? Are you a rock player? How would you define yourself?
Well, you know, I like to think that I'm a bit of a mixture, really. Mm-hmm. I mean, I suppose you could say it's more in the mold of a Glenn Campbell, really, who was able to play most things and sang as well, you know. Mm-hmm. I don't profess to be a great singer as he was, but I do enjoy singing. People enjoy my vocals, so, and I also play the piano too. So I'm a big fan of Jimmy Webb and, you know, singing piano players.
Right.
So you know, that I feature that in the shows too.
Now, you know, with all your accomplishments, you know, you've had a pretty amazing career that a lot of people would love to have half of what you've done. How do you look back as you stand here today and you're still vibrant, you're still playing? I mean, how do you look back on what you've accomplished? You have to be amazed at what you've done.
Well, yeah, I feel very lucky, really. When I look at other people who've been in this business and they've kind of disappeared after about 5 years, and, you know, things came and went. You know, I was lucky enough to go from one gig to another and never out of work for long. But, you know, things started to dry up a little bit. You know, I don't do as much studio as I used to. Although I'm doing an overdub on a Willem Shatner record.
Oh, are you really?
In a couple of days. Every now and again I'll get asked to do an overdub for people, which is, you know, I enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That ought to be an interesting record.
Yeah. Well, he's done a couple of them, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that should be fun.
You've just got to look back and just be amazed with what you've done. Now, you know.
I'm just about to turn 76, and next year is getting pretty full already. So, which is good and bad.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
And be nice to have a couple of months off to be able to take care of things around the house. I've got cars that need attention and a house that needs attention, and you know, there's no time for it.
Yeah.
I get home with jet lag, and before I know it, I'm off again.
Right.
I don't seem to accomplish much.
Yeah. You know, you have to prioritize, I guess. I mean, you've had so much longevity. I mean, what do you attribute your longevity to? Because you're a very nice person and you're a great artist. Is it the combination, or?
I try and take care of myself. You know, I'm never really too involved with drugs. You know, I was able to take them or leave them. I've been a vegetarian for years now, maybe longer. Mm-hmm. And that, you know, I had trouble eating certain foods. And, I seem to cured that, you know, with becoming a vegetarian. You know, so that helps. You know.
Well, it's the lifestyle. You've seen it. I mean, I'm sure you've lost a lot of friends, and we've seen what drugs and alcohol do to people. So
it seems like you know, friends are falling by the wayside every week. It just it's really sad, you know. So I'm happy to carry on while I can.
How do you see yourself, Albert? Because I consider you to be one of the best guitar players in the world. I would put you in my top 100 guitar players, and I don't know who I'd put one or last, but you're certainly on that list. How do you look at yourself as a player?
Well, I've seen those lists, and I look and see some of the other guys that are on that list, and I think, well, hold on a minute, why is this guy on the list? But I do appreciate it when I'm recognised in that way, which is nice, I know I've influenced a few players along the way too, and
right.
Guys like Ricky Skaggs and Vince Gill they're happy to mention me every now and again,
Right.
Yeah, and like Jimmy Page and Jeff Beck used to mention me in interviews, but not anymore. I guess they kind of forgot. There are a lot of great players out there now, and playing a style that doesn't really appeal to me, but I have to admire their technique. So yeah, things have changed a lot.
You in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
No.
Okay.
I'm in the gallery of greats on Guitar Player magazine. Rockabilly Hall of Fame, I think. Oh, vintage guitar, yeah.
Okay.
I was on in this in Vintage Guitar this year, which
right.
is like Vintage Guitar magazine.
Of course.
I think it was a top country player, which is really nice,
I'm wondering if it's not time to add a category for all the great players like yourself that have played with a lot of people, you know what I mean, but weren't in necessarily like the Beatles or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just wondering if that's something that can be considered.
Yeah, I guess 100 great guitar players kind of covers that, but
yeah.
There are people who are honored on that list that haven't really earned a lot of money, like me. We've just been jobbing guitar players.
Are you happy at this stage in your career?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, things could be worse. I've been, as I said, losing too many friends, and the date book is filling up for next year already. I can't really complain. Could be worse.
Of course. When somebody comes out to see you perform, Albert, what do you want them to experience during your show, and what would you like them to take away?
Well, I hope I'm playing like I always have.
Right.
I have to admit, I haven't played a lot of guitar in the last few weeks. The last thing I did, I was out with Peter Asher. I was just kind of strumming acoustic guitar, so I've got to get my chops up for the 21st.
Okay. I'm sure that won't take you very long.
I am lucky in that respect. I can leave it alone for a few weeks, and it's the technique usually comes back. Not exactly like it used to, but it's there. So I can't complain.
Yeah, one of the observations, too, I've made on a personal side is, I've been in your company a few times over the years, and I've seen you always make yourself accessible to fans. Is that something that you've always done and still do?
Well, yeah. Well, after the gigs, I used to go out front and sign a few CDs. Mm-hmm. There's always people that, would like to see me, and they, they buy the CDs, so right. that always helps the bottom line,
Sure. Well, I think it's nice that you do that. I think it's really nice when an artist goes out to meet the fans, because it means a lot to people.
I'm happy to do that.
Well, Albert, this has been great. Is there anything that you would like to add? I don't want to keep you too much longer here. I really appreciate your time.
No, I think we covered it all, really.
Okay.
I show your interest, and I hope you enjoy the gig.
We'll get a chance to say hello. I'll stop by and see you after the show.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, have a wonderful day and a great week, and I'll see you this weekend.
All right. That's great. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Not a problem. Thank you, Albert. You too. Bye-bye. A soft-spoken gentleman that lets his guitar do the talking, Lee is honored by the praise and notoriety he receives from fellow musicians and guitar enthusiasts all over the world. Routinely meeting fans following his shows, Lee takes great pleasure in talking to aspiring guitarists. His drive and determination to craft his unique and unforgettable style on the fretboard has earned him a place as one of music's elite guitarists. Thank you for taking a walk with me down memory lane. I look forward to our time together next week when I present an interview I conducted with blues guitar legend Buddy Guy in 1994. Until next time, peace, serenity, and blessings.